Welcome to the Poem of the Man God, Volume 1, Chapter 5, Part 5, The Birth of the Virgin Mary. Mary, little voice, you have seen the birth of the Virgin Son and the Assumption of the Virgin to heaven. You have therefore seen that the faultless ones are unaware of the pain in giving birth, as well as of the pain in dying. But if the most innocent Mother of God was granted the perfection of celestial gifts, all those who in the first parents had remained innocent and sons of God would have generated without throes, as it was fair, having conceived without lust, and they would have died without anxiety. The sublime victory of God over Satan's revenge was to raise the perfection of the beloved creature to a super-perfection that should annul, at least in one person, all recollection of humanity, liable to Satan's poison, so that the Son should be generated not by a man's chaste embrace, but by a divine embrace that causes the spirit to change color in the ecstasy of the fire, the Virgin's virginity. Come, contemplate this deep virginity that gives ecstatic dizziness in its contemplation. What is the poor enforced virginity of a woman that no man married? Less than nothing. What is the virginity of a woman who wanted to be a virgin to belong to God, but is so in her body and not in her spirit, where she allows alien thoughts to enter and entertains allurements of human thoughts? It is a sham virginity, but still very little. What is the virginity of a cloistered nun who lives only for God? Very much. But it is never the perfect virginity when compared with my mother's. There has always been an association also in the Most Holy One, the original association between spirit and fault, the one that only baptism dissolves. It dissolves it, but as in the case of a woman separated from her husband by his death, it does not render virginity complete, such as it was in the first parents before sin. A scar remains, and it hurts, causing one to remember it, and it is always ready to become a sore like certain diseases that periodically are made worse by their virus. In the Virgin, there is no sign of this dissolved association with the fault. Her soul appears beautiful and intact, as when the Father conceived her, gathering all graces in her. She is the Virgin. She is the only one. She is the perfect one, the complete one, conceived as such, generated as such, remained as such, crowned such, eternally such. She is the Virgin. She is the acme of intangibility, of purity, of grace, that is lost in the abyss from which it emerged, in God. Most perfect intangibility, purity, grace. That is the revenge of the God, trine and one, against creatures desecrated. He raises this star to perfection. Against pernicious curiosity, he raises this coy virgin, contented only with loving God, against the science of evil. This sublime innocent virgin, in her there is not only no knowledge of dejected love, there is not only non-acquaintance with the love that God had given to married people, much more. In her, there is the absence of incentives, the inheritance of sin. In her, there is only the icy and white-hot wisdom of divine love, a fire that strengthens the flesh with ice, so that it may be a transparent mirror at the altar where God married a virgin and does not lower himself, because his perfection embraces her perfection, which, as it becomes a bride, is only inferior to his by one point, subject to him as a woman, but without fault, as he is. This has been a reading from the Poem of the Man God, Chapter 5, Part 5. Thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow. May peace be with you.